Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and today we're starting Lara Croft in the Temple of Osiris. Now, I just played Lara Croft Go, which actually, surprisingly, when you compare the two graphics, was made a year after this game. So why does this game look so much better and isn't a low polygon depiction of Lara Croft when a year earlier the same company, Square Enix, had 3D models of the characters? It's simply a matter of what the hardware was that they were targeting. Lara Croft Temple of Osiris is the sequel to the Temple of Light, which I've been mistakenly calling Lara Croft and the Spear of Destiny, which I don't believe either isn't a game or it's one of the original series of the Lara Croft games. Or maybe it is a side Game Boy game that, or something like that. There definitely was a spear that you could describe as the Spear of Destiny in Temple of Light. That's just not the name of it. Temple of Light also was a co-op game that you could play in single player. This is a 4-way online multiplayer co-op game, instead of the first one being only 2-player co-op. But you can still play it in single player, and I've disabled the ability for anybody to jump in and interfere with just going through a straight playthrough. I really haven't gotten past this screen, and I'm just so awestruck on the quality of graphics. The Temple of Osiris targeted Xbox 360, PS3 consoles. Lara Croft Go, at the time, 2014, I believe, maybe 2000. No, it wasn't that. Yeah, it was 2014. So, like, I'm recording this in 2018, 4 years ago. Phones were definitely weaker back then, but there was no real reason for it to look the way it did. It was simply an artistic decision. And I think probably a bad artistic decision. I would really enjoyed Lara Croft Go better had I been playing with a Lara Croft that looked like this. But I don't want to harp on that too much. This game now, kind of as an online game, like all online games, is kind of dead. So the community is gone. Unless there's some reason why it would be down right now and not permanently. It's more than likely permanent. The gamepad controls surprisingly show an Xbox One controller, which is what I have plugged in. Most games, I'm used to seeing an Xbox 360 controller as the template, even if it's a modern game. Let's see, I've got all kinds of downloadable content. I would say Lara Croft Go on Steam gives you all the DLC for free, making it a decent value, although it is an incredibly short game. Whereas Temple of Osiris tries to make you buy all that DLC, and I guess I fell for that and did buy it, but I probably got it in a bundle, so it wasn't too big of an issue. As far as options, the game's a little weird that it asks you the graphics options through a launcher on Steam, and then when I came in here it was on VSync double buffered when I could get it up to triple buffered, no problem. I have a GTX 970, which is by no means a super powerful graphics card, and this was set at high. I just turned everything higher, so I think anisotropic filtering was only at 8x and SSA was only at 2x, so I turned up all of those and just left everything down. So we're going for the highest graphics we can see, and it looks fine, looks perfectly fine. Key bindings, nice features, certainly none of that in Lara Croft Go, where you could either drag your mouse or use a controller, and dragging the mouse was very awkward. Audio, I've turned down the audio, as I do almost every game, to 25%, and left everything else here at the maximum by default. It may be a little loud, but I think I'm gonna live with it, and we'll see. speaking of audio, it's worth mentioning that this game is the last game that the original voice actress worked on to voice Lara Croft. Kind of weird they put the always transmit your voice chat in the audio section. And I turned on subtitles, that's the only thing I changed there. Gameplay wise, just you have your standard settings plus hosting. Here you can host and be open to everyone, or you can be in private mode, or you can be none. And then community events, I guess you could toggle on or off new dynamic events, which I guess I don't want right now, and text chat being enabled. Again, I don't think there are any community events. My Steam account is already linked to the Square Enix membership, so if that gave us some new DLC, that's fine. Clicking on downloadable content just gets you to the Steam overlay, which I have disabled, and that's way too much setup. It always is to hop into this game. I've, for the most part, rather enjoyed the Temple of Light, and it's kind of a shame it took them
the god King Osiris
like
unified the kingdoms and
5 years to make a sequel.
Over the whole of Egypt, until he was killed by his brother, the usurper Set. Osiris's wife, the goddess Isis, recovered her husband's lifeless body. Using the power within the staff of Osiris, she returned him to the world, but only long enough to conceive a son, Horus. When Set learned of her actions, he stole the staff and used its power to imprison Isis and Horus. Then he seized the reanimated form of Osiris, tore his body into pieces, and scattered them across the land until he ruled Egypt unopposed. As his kingdom declined, he descended to the underworld, Duat, in search of greater power. But Osiris alone possessed the power to return from Duat, and without the staff, Set found himself trapped for eternity. The Temple of Osiris remained sealed for thousands of years until I discovered a way inside.
I'm loving this intro.
Alone, Carter Bell, a rising star in archaeology, was also in search of the staff. The lost staff of Osiris was inside. With our prize so close, the race was on. Carter, wait!
Ha! Not this time, Croft.
It's kind of a shame that there aren't characters like Carter in the main reboot series.
And the temple a prison. Carter and I were cursed.
We owe you our thanks, travelers. You have freed us from our prison, but you are now marked for judgment. You do not have much time. Duat, the realm of the dead, awaits. I am Isis, and this is my son, Horus. We are the last of the old gods who stood against Set. If you wish to live, we must escape this temple and find the pieces of Osiris.
Unfortunate that there's a different Isis running around.
The found here has marked you and summoned Amit, Eater of Hearts. She will burrow from beneath the earth to find you, and you will face the judgment of Anubis.
So the cutscene.
With its power, I can give you guidance no matter how far apart we are. Hurry, mortal. You are not safe here.
Like, already the cutscene was quiet, and then this section of the actual gameplay is less quiet. So we can hold the staff. I can hit X to roll. I can jump. There was a staff. Oops! I just hit a Y to drop a bomb. Interesting. And so I use the left stick to move, right stick to aim. So this is a twin stick shooter game with collectible drops. This is a continuation. Bullets don't hurt anyone else. Apparently shooting collectibles also collects them. And since I'm just playing alone, I'm playing by myself. It's kind of funny here. You have arguably, not knowing where Carter is, you have 3 people of at least African origin, and then you have the Lara Croft standing out as quite different looking and really having no part in the story, but being a character who can bring the rest of the story together and the other new characters into the spotlight. So that kind of works. The reboot series would be nice if there was at least somebody like Carter there, some other archaeologist. So hold 5 or left bump to light a torch. Interesting. What does the right bump do? Seems to be a grappling hook. Interesting. It's kind of surprising that they didn't consider. I don't know how many of these bombs I have, or if they just regenerate. It's a little surprising, jumps, that they didn't try to make something along the lines of a Diablo-esque game. Look how much it zooms out. That is interesting. It seems like you could have done that. And we're gonna have to find some specific thing. The grappling hook doesn't pick up things. It feels very much like there should be a hit something with the butt of your gun's melee attack. A just jumps up here and jumps up here. Many vases contain treasures. Use the whatever right stick to aim and the right trigger to fire your weapons. And it locked me in position a little bit, so I won't walk around too much. This is the main fighting loop. Is you'll get attacked by groups.
What is that?
Groups
the
of
mark of
enemies.
Set. He is still trapped in Duat, but he can extend his power into our world. These marks must be destroyed wherever we find them.
Equip the staff with the D-pad and then aim. It's D-pad down and aim to do a laser attack.
Like cauterizing a wound. Let's go.
And so we'll probably get some other weapons. That I believe was in the original game. Feels like there was more story in the original game, and you probably would experience this better if you had played the Temple of Light back to back after, with this being the sequel of it. It definitely feels like tutorialization is being left alone. Want to get just a slight feeling of what blows up and what doesn't, and how far and how open is our platforming ability. It doesn't seem like it's too far or too open, so I'm not just gonna jump around and find secrets, or not secrets like that. More, I think what will happen is we'll be in rooms.
Let me see.
There'll be weapons and puzzles. So there is a delay time when dropping these.
We have to destroy that thing if we want to go any further.
Both the laser of the staff and the guns feel a little slow, a little sluggish. I wouldn't be surprised if this game slightly suffered from a slow frame rate, slow interaction. I'm on fire, but I hit it, so it doesn't matter. I am about dead, however. I'll need to keep that in mind. Collecting gold and collectibles doesn't seem like it increases your health.
My little gods, have you come at last to bow before me? I owe you a great thanks.
And see, this is a pre-rendered cutscene, so this could easily have been played on a cell
But when
phone
you
too.
touched the stuff, it's saying to me, it guided me back here so that I may reclaim what is mine.
You are a murderer and a tyrant, Set. We will grant justice for Osiris and seal you in Duat forever.
So be it. But while you withered in captivity, I mastered the secrets of Duat. I will find my way back to this world. And you have shown me the path. I will take back my throne.
That was an interesting line that it was
Set
said
is
by
raising his
Lara
army.
Croft.
He has corrupted the cycles of life and death and made these spirits into his slaves.
It should have been Isis that said that.
The power of Osiris still resides within his staff. If we raise it up, it will affect anything with his glyph.
There we go. I think I made it. Alright. So when the staff press the left trigger, and that gives you a way of raising up what's over here. 1 of 5 red skulls to collect. Interesting. So we now know what the collectibles are. Controls are not bad, they're just a little awkward to learn. It'll take me a little bit of time to decide how to do it. Press 6 to equip a grenade, and then right bump to grapple on the golden ring, and then use the left stick to aim. Oh, to equip the grapple, not a grenade. I think on the controller, if I'm looking at this right, there is no actually equipping the grapple, it's just always equipped, which makes playing this on a controller a lot easier than, well, at least in that aspect, easier than playing on a keyboard. I would kind of fully agree with that. It seems like it would be kind of crazy to try to play a game like this on the keyboard.
There has got to be a way up there.
Although
I cannot tell where she is, but Amit is close. Keep your eyes open.
like, I think playing most games on the mouse and keyboard is kind of awkward. So I'm sure the
More of
pros-
Set's soldiers. Let's put them to rest.
I may need to turn down the VSync. Like, I might need to find a trick. There we go. Because this, maybe I've got the settings a little too good for this experience. I'm not experiencing any lockups, I'm just experiencing kind of a sluggish experience. So let's see if we can change that. Graphics and display, exclusive full screen, might be an issue. See, like the display right here is at a refresh rate of 60 Hz, 60 frames per second. That's what my monitor usually does.
We should move. There is no telling when Onnit will find you.
And yeah, if people were on the screen, 4 players, that certainly explains why we're so zoomed out. Because should have done some dodge rolls. Drop a bomb here on the thing. Get some more collectibles.
The traps in this place are deadly. We must be cautious.
Story didn't really explain itself very well as far as what we're actually doing or where we actually are. We just kind of got thrown into things. So can I blow up all these columns? Jeez, could I have been blowing up columns this whole time? I guess I could. And there very possibly might be a community event or reason to have that happen that way. So.
Useful little things, these bombs. Just try to stay clear of the blast.
We will keep that in mind.
And see, I'm just rolling as right now as far as a attack combo. And clearly I'm supposed to use the combos. Also, like, I'm supposed to use bombs on top of rolling, on top of shooting. Let's see, is there anything else to do here? Nope. Hold on to this. Pull ourselves up. Get a max health upgrade pretty early. I wouldn't be surprised if there really isn't too much. Let's see if bombs will. Nope. Only bombs will break these things. And it definitely feels like there should be little quests I should be doing, like lighting up areas and blowing up columns. Yeah, the first game really only had a couple of levels, maybe 12, 20. We got to some, I think it may have been DLC additions that added some more puzzles and things. But the experience was short and sweet. Rings apply effects to your character. Let's see. And apparently I am now in an inventory system that I hadn't... Was there something like this in the first game? I think there might have been a little bit of this. Vulnerable iron ring from strength. Weapon damage increase, defense decrease. Interesting. And we can see, we don't have any of the costumes apparently equipable right now, and we don't have any other guns for the D-pad to equip, and we don't have anything like that to equip. And let's see, challenges. There are some challenges, like max health upgrades, knock 3 skeletons in the spike with remote bombs, free a skeleton from a sarcophagus, collect 5 red skulls, destroy all the tomb arrow traps. And this definitely was what Temple of Light was about, was playing the levels multiple times to get upgrades. an upgrade in my gun on speed would make a lot of sense. As it looks, it feels like there's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 challenges in this map. Which is an indicator that there's either 8 challenges in this one level, or
right. Let's just take this slow and steady.
Multiple levels. This guy. There, I knocked one skeleton on the spikes with remote bombs. There we go. Is this a skeleton I can do something with? Nope. There might be something over there to get to in a second. There's 2. So I must not be blowing up the right spike traps yet. Feels like we'll get upgrades that increase the explosive range or the damage.
Oh, damn.
We cannot afford to waste another moment. Amit will find you.
One thing at a time, please.
Like, I can definitely feel that an increase in damage on our 2 main weapons is going to be very required and wanted. That's one more of the red skulls. And I might as well try to get as high of a score as possible, because unless there's a different system on the high score, say a multiplier based on how long it takes you to get through the entire level, I think we're cool to just take this nice and slow. And I really like that idea in general. Like having a lack of a need to run through the levels is kind of nice. Like sometimes levels are so short anyways that they're gonna be you're gonna finish them despite your best efforts. Sometimes games are ridiculously long and you have to run through them. So this giant crocodile is your first animal boss.
She's seen us! Run!
Which animal bosses? A thing of the old Tomb Raider series, not a thing
Enjoy your final days spent running in terror. My return is near.
Jump over.
Oh dear. It seems we're not the first adventurers to come this way.
There's a loose definition here of what an adventurer is. Okay. That was a full-on death, and I get a full-on load screen, which most players would not have ever seen that load screen, I imagine, because they would have been playing with somebody else, and I assume that the system works differently. Well, what happens when I drop a let's see, B to grab these things, hold B to grab them, and move the objects. Oh, ball rolling puzzles. I feel like it's
Ah yes, that fits perfectly.
feels like there would be a way to integrate this gameplay with the gameplay in Lara Croft Go and have a slightly bigger, slightly better game. Although maybe you just are better suited to make a bundle. Oops, don't fall off the edge. And I don't know why anybody would particularly want to play as a different character than Lara Croft. I haven't seen a way to do that. Like, it seems like maybe that after this first level we'll hit a point where it makes sense. And you just have to tap the let's see, can I get over here like that? Right now. That's what I wanted. There we go. It's looking like one level is going to take about 30 minutes. Or this game is just a constant, like, trip. And I don't think it is. I think, ooh. For a second there I thought I lost all my gems when I died. Yeah. You really can't have scores per level if you don't have levels at the end of a level. Alright, so now equip a machine gun, and I am more than happy to have a submachine gun. I didn't collect a couple of things. Feels like the submachine gun is actually slower than the dual pistols, which probably should be, but slightly stronger. However, there's bullets also equipped with that, so the blue bar at the bottom limits you, where I think the regular guns either use such an insignificant amount of bullets it doesn't matter, and this clearly would never run out of bullets regardless. So you could be in a tight spot at some point where you're only using this weapon. Feels like you could be at least. Pyramid of Osiris. I think I kind of vaguely recall like the game, the Temple of Light's predecessor, also giving us a little bit of trouble when trying to toggle and hit some of this stuff. Equip amulets to gain powerful abilities that you share with your allies. Deal damage and collect gems to activate your amulet's power meter. The amulet's power meter remains active until you take damage. Nice. And so I can either have scatter shot or fire projectiles. Let's start with scatter shot. Feels like maybe I got one for free.
There she is again.
As some kind of DLC element. I want to blow up the sarcophagus. Yeah, see, I knew I could do it. So yeah, scatter shot fixes the lack of an auto aiming that feels like it would be nice to have. Also, it seems like you can just walk away from these sarcophaguses and not really have to take on the enemies within. Although, where would the fun in that be? I'm in a weird position now. It's been 30 minutes and I don't know if I'm halfway through a level or what. Let's see. Challenge wise, we have we have gone over the 40,000 points and we're in a good position to go over the silver level of 60,000 points, but I seriously doubt I'd go over the 100,000 point level. So if I'm going to try to get gold on all these challenges and get all the achievements, I'm going to probably need some kind of score multiplier. There's one more red skull, and there's 15 more arrow traps. Let's see, is there a zoom in button or something? We're in the Pyramid of Osiris. And we've apparently been in the Tomb of Hoarfrost and the Tomb of the Embalmer. So, yeah, it really doesn't feel like we're... It doesn't feel like we're too far. This definitely does feel like a game that they wished... back in the day, Square Enix and many people would have wished to convince people to play their games forever and ever. And at a time that certainly was the case, and that was how things were done. But nowadays, that's not so much the case. While there might be a small amount of replayability in this to convince you to run through a level twice, anything more than 2 runs through this is unlikely to be enjoyable.
We might just make it.
I wish I could jump up and collect the thing on there, but I don't think that will work. And there's nothing else to do, so up we go. Alright, so that's not high enough. There's a giant scarab. And all these platforms go up in the same area. Interesting.
I think we slipped past her.
We should go. Quickly.
Oops, wasn't actually standing on the platform. So we hit the silver point challenge, but this feels like this is the end of the level. We're gonna have to do a boss fight, and this is not a game where I can just arbitrarily pause and there was a whole sequence just like this in the first game. This is kind of a one-for-one remake of it. And I believe in the first game I had the same issue of this being a cutscene that is just asking too much. Part of it is certainly the fact that I just don't know what I'm looking at. there's an upgrade there, and I'd like to get that upgrade. Extra bullets. We've got a little checkpoint, so we can try that. Your basic abilities to jump, I don't think are going to change. And I don't think I'm getting more pieces of jewelry. If anything, I might be losing little bits of gold. It's not worth it. Let's just keep on running. We'll come back and get that later.
She can't reach us, for now.
Demons can afford patience. As long as you are marked, Amit will hunt you.
Run, little gods! Spend your last few hours chasing a dead dream. But
it's a
I
really
will
long
return to rule
first
this kingdom,
level.
and you cannot stop me.
I assume this is the first level.
We will stop you.
And not 2 or 3 levels just combined.
You can try.
Set's magic has blocked the way into the temple. We will not be able to stop him unless we can find a way back inside.
So how do we stop him?
We need Osiris. Only he can help us enter the temple, and only his power can stand against Set.
So, it seems like what happened here is I've actually done 2 levels. We are now in the Temple of Osiris, and the game is just designed to be so free-flowing that it becomes hard to tell the difference. Why I can't switch outfits is questionable. Why the map is just not helpful is questionable, certainly. What happens if we go here? There's kind of nothing. So it seems like you have to play the entire game in its own run as it is. So maybe once you beat the game the first time, once you've unlocked all the basic default things, you can go back and select levels. I think you would almost have to have that be the case, because it doesn't make any sense to make somebody have to play through the first section of the game over and over and over again just trying to get collectibles that might be in the last section of the game. So yep, I guess going forward in future recordings we'll try to keep it closer to 30 minutes, and since it is just kind of this free-forming element, I'll try to get one level done and end there. This one is certainly going to be an awkward one. I'm not sure I really like games that are consistently free-flowing. I'm thinking BioShock Infinite is a sort of perfect example of a game like that, where it feels like you could play from the beginning of the game to the end of the game and never really noticed that you've transitioned to different levels because the story is all connected and all in-engine. You don't ever see any like cutscenes. This game, cutscenes are going to be the indicator that you've finished a chapter. And I really feel like for this type of game there should have been an end screen that says, here's your score, here's what you did, here's what you didn't do, would you like to retry now or continue the story. But compared to Lara Croft Go, a lot more going on here, a lot more. You have story, you have characters, you have many gameplay mechanics. It's not puzzly like Lara Croft Go, certainly, but I almost feel like the two could be combined. Maybe what you could do is have a game like Temple of Osiris happen, and then at certain points you walk up to something that looks like a chessboard or a magical chessboard of some sort, and then you have the 3D version of Lara Croft manipulating with her hand a 2D low polygon version of Lara Croft to do the puzzle sections. That would be a nice integration to kind of merge the two games together. It would be interesting, certainly. We haven't ever seen any idea or thought of video game makers merging some of their old games together, but Lara Croft is a great series where you could do that. If you took the first, second, third game in that series, merged them together, cut out the boring parts, made it a faster, more story-based experience, you would have something that is much more palatable for a modern-day audience. Anyways, we've already gone on long. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. If you want to support me even further, I'm asking people to friend me on Steam and gift me a game. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.